Hey Internet, welcome to the very latest, almost a production line, Democracy for Developer blog video. I am Cliff, the coder and designer, and I'm playing in dark mode for a bit of a change. I'm going to talk about all the stuff that we've done in the last 2 weeks. We've got quite a list actually of things. Hopefully the game won't crash or anything like that. Okay, so I've got a little list here. I'm gonna move my list somewhere more sensible. There we go. Right, I'm gonna show you one. I'm gonna show you two of the things actually from this main screen. So if I go to player guide, it used to say manual, but you notice these days that people don't say manual. Where's the manual? They say, is there like a Steam guide or like some other sort of guide? So yes, we're calling it the player guide now. So we have a how to play the game thing. Which didn't take long to do because I did a similar thing for the last game I worked on, which was Production Line, and there's images in here, and you know, it's basically how to play the game if you've never played the game. I probably need to add a few little extra bits here and there. I might need to update some images. Anyway, it's there, and it's also bound to F1, which is normally help in an application, and it's also in the game, and I'll show you how to get to it from in the game. But that's new. A lot of the stuff is new. Some of it, some of the text is similar. I need to give it another run through. Some is similar to Democracy 3 because some of the like basic principles of like what a voter is and a voter group is haven't changed. So it's just needless to like redo it. So anyway, that's new. Player guide is new. I'll put that in. Something else that we've changed is I've changed this. Oh, I need to change that. Oh, see that those colours are not right for this in dark mode. I need to change that. So anyway, there's two things that are different on the political compass. It's good for me to do this because it makes me check everything works in dark mode. So these little icons here show me the elections that I've won in Democracy 4. I'm only playing as the UK because that's the only country that's in at the moment. And I tend to be like socialist and liberal. You start off with a very socialist, liberal sort of country. I've obviously become a lot more liberal for that election, and a little bit capitalist. So what we've done is we've put in all of these like famous people. There's Donald Trump over there. There's Saddam Hussein over here. Stalin, Lenin, Ayn Rand, Bill Clinton, Bernie Sanders, Jeremy Corbyn. Matter of opinion as to where all those people are, and I'm sure people will argue. Like Ronald Reagan and Vladimir Putin, fairly similar on the liberal conservative thing. Is that controversial? I don't know. We'll find. You know, we'll find out because people will tell me I'm wrong. Anyway, we've changed it to be coloured and stuff like that. Yeah, that doesn't look so good in that mode. I'll show you what I mean if I change this to light mode. The only thing that doesn't change is that. If I go in, it looks more reasonable, right? Anyway, we can keep tweaking these things. So so that's better, and that's in. Let's start a game. I'm going to start a game, and hopefully. Okay, there's been an edit there because I had a bit of a weird crash bug that I'm still looking into, but I didn't want to spend forever on it. Anyway, something that we've changed is like the background of this. So now if you have a kind of like window in front of you asking you a question, the background is kind of grey, what we call grayscale, so it's black and white. That's a new thing. Anyway, I've got a whole list of stuff to go through. Let me point you at the donors, the pictures of the donors. So with fundraising, you have... you're raising funds from members of your party, which I want to talk about in a minute, but you're also raising money from like wealthy donors, and the reason I mention that is that that's me. That's a picture of me. This is a picture of my wife. This is a famous indie who I know. All of the donors are either indie developers I know or their partners. I need to get some more done actually. I just thought it'd be funny because like you gotta you know, you've got to have some people as reference art. You know, maybe people know who that is. I don't know. Anyway, it was fun. It was fun to have that in. So I need to talk about party membership. So one of the things that was on my list of stuff to do recently was to ensure that there was always some members in your party. We're the Liberal Democrats, apparently, and we have this many members. Anyway, when I started looking at this, I thought I'd hack it. I thought I'd sort of say, oh, there's always X members of your party. But then when I looked at the code for it, I realized that there was something I was missing out on. And what I was missing out on was the idea of activism. So in Democracy 3 and all the earlier ones, there is a threshold, okay? And if you have a certain level of sympathy with a political party because they're doing exactly what you want. For example, if the players' party is really very popular, a lot of people will be happy with you, and you will go above a certain threshold. And when you go above that threshold for a certain amount of time, you then join the party. If you go below a certain threshold, you'll join the opposition, and in between you may join the third party, which is a new thing. But anyway, that threshold was always the same for everybody. So there was a certain point at which we go, I am this happy with the government, I'm going to join the government's political party. What I've changed is I've made it so that every individual in the game, every voter has a level of activism, which is their tendency to want to engage in politics. And depending what that is, that threshold will move. So if you're a real activist type, you'll join a party when you're less happy with them. You'll sort of think, well, on balance, I support the Liberal Democrats or whatever, so I'm going to become a member or don't or whatever, even though I'm not that happy with them. Whereas some people may not be politically engaged, so they may be more like, no, of course I'm not going to join a party unless someone comes along who weirdly they really like some people who never voted and then Trump came along or whatever, or Bernie Sanders, I don't know, whatever. I'm trying to be neutral. Yes, so now we have more of a kind of curve. So you can be relatively unpopular and still have some people in your party, and they're the people who are kind of easily pleased. So this is a new characteristic for every voter in the game. If we look at a bunch of voters, in a focus group, here's a bunch of voters. They each have a certain number of attributes which we don't show. One of which is their level of radicalization, which is their tendency to join pressure groups and then terrorist groups. And one of which is their innate voting chance, which is just, all things being the same, what is the chances that these people will vote? And then we now have a third one, which is their innate activism, their tendency to join a political party. Now you can see the actual voting probability of people here, which depends on their view of the current government, really. It's a high voting probability there because they're pretty happy. There's a really low voting probability there because they're kind of feel a bit mediocre about the government, as it were, only 52%. So on balance, they'd vote for you, but they probably won't bother voting. So something else we did, and I looked up some statistics to check it was true, is some of these things in the game now depend on your age. So if you're old, your innate vote chance is higher. That's always been the case. But also, the activism of young people is, I think, higher. I can't remember now. I need to look into it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The main thing is that political parties will have more sensible memberships because we are actually modelling a variety of different levels of engagement with the political system. And something that is worth noting is that in the game, young people are less likely to vote than old people, and you need to take that into account. Anyway, so blah blah blah, political compass, play guide, activism, donors. Yeah, there's a new policy, charitable tax charitable tax deductions, not donations. And where would that be? It would be under here, wouldn't it? Charity tax relief. So you can implement this and it will boost charity. It's basically saying, yeah, if you give money to charity, you can, you get a reduction on your tax or whatever. That's quite common around the world. there's two other things to mention. One is the report thing, so I'm going to have to go to the next turn. Hopefully it won't crash. Yay! I don't know what that random crash is. Look, I've added this. It's not a big deal, but there's actually absolutely no clue until now what country you're playing. So you're playing the UK. I mean, you'll know that because you'll have selected it. And if we go into the political compass here, we won't have moved much. We'll still be here. Oh no, it's not on the political compass here. It's only on the main screen one. This is stretched now, so it uses more space, which makes a lot more sense. There are only two other things that I've done. There is a new end screen for when you get assassinated, which it's quite complicated to trigger it to show it to you. But basically, if you look at this stuff here that shows you all of the policies that affect your level of security, these affect the chances of you being assassinated when there's an attempt. Those are also shown as a summary if you do get assassinated. So when it happens, you get, oh, you've been shot by whoever. And it's also, you see all of those, so you can look at those and sort of go, maybe I was making it a little bit easy, maybe I should have had more intelligence services or whatever, and you'll be able to see them. I think that's important. Something that we are getting done is I've actually I've actually spoken to someone and given them some stuff, and they're working on a trailer. So yeah, we make progress. We're on our way to you know, having a trailer that we can show to people that will hopefully encourage people to get the game in early access, and before then when we're going to like sell a sort of alpha version of it. It's just in case some people really want that. So that's good news. I might have clips of a trailer to show you in maybe not the next video, but the video after, stuff like that. I don't know. So we're making good progress. I still need to put in all the Democracy 3 Africa stuff. I need to fix any like bug fixy things. We need to do a lot of balancing and a lot of performance stuff, and we've got a few little UI things that don't quite work. We may put in some more events and some more donors and stuff like that. But we're making pretty good progress on this game now. I'm very pleased with it. I'm very pleased with the way it looks and works. And don't forget, you can change the way things are all represented everywhere. I love all that. I think that's fantastic. Anyway, I'll do another video in 2 weeks talking about the new stuff that has gone in. There'll probably be a lot of like simulation tweaks, and we'll talk more about like policies and stuff like that. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.